If you hear these words, know this: it is no mere chance. This is your own soul echoing back, awakening from a long slumber. It has awaited this call, this response. Before we step together into the sacred halls of truth, you must make a choice. Your like is not simply a sign of approval. It is a bright declaration of your sincere intentions. Your subscription is a step forward, an entry into the brotherhood of those who relentlessly seek answers, who strive for knowledge. The topic we dare to unveil today concerns the very core of our existence. It is shrouded in the mystical fog of millennia, at times lost in the cacophony of everyday digital noise. And this is no trivial conspiracy theory. No, this is a carefully orchestrated plot against your very consciousness. A prophecy, first spoken in mist-shrouded long-past times when Europe was just forging its unique cultural code, now echoes with chilling, ominous relevance. The Iron Bull will devour its children. These words, as if carved into the very stone of time, mirror the very future of the union that we witness today. A union transformed into a grand yet internally fragile creation, built upon foundations that perhaps hold echoes of ancient, forgotten curses. But why conceal this truth? Why so skillfully manipulate our minds, crafting an illusion of order where true chaos reigns? The answer is simple. Because the reality we inhabit is a meticulously engineered construct. Call it a matrix, if you will, but not the kind you've seen in movies. This is more like a matrix of our own consciousness, woven from a web of fear, profound ignorance, and cunning self-deception. And those whom we conditionally call they, those who hold the invisible strings of control, are acutely aware of this. They feed on our passivity, our meek acceptance of lies as an inherent part of existence. The truth, which they so meticulously conceal behind a dense screen of news reports, is actually simple and terrifying. It is that the course of history resembles a spiral, but its movement is far from always directed upwards. At times, this spiral coils into a tight, deadly knot, mercilessly dragging into its noose those who cannot discern the true, predestined path. In one of the lost quatrains from Centuries, under number 11, verse 93, we find a somber yet remarkably clear hint. When the iron bull, whose might is in its steel spine, devours its children born at dawn, then the light shall begin to dim, yielding to endless night. This is not merely an exquisite metaphor, no. It is a genuine prophecy, cloaked in a mysterious, mystical code that, as it turns out, resonates and repeats across diverse cultures, separated by time and space. Recall, for instance, the ancient Greeks. The Delphic oracle, whose prophecies were always a source of both deep fear and genuine reverence, also spoke of bulls, of consumption, of something inevitably approaching. Or let us turn to later times. Hermit monk Kenshin, whose ancient scrolls were discovered amidst the ashes of a once magnificent, now burnt monastery on the slopes of Mount Kurama, described the steel beast. He claimed this creature would devour its own offspring, distorting their true, original nature, turning them into soulless, will-less executors of someone else's monstrous will, the will of the system itself. His words echo in a forgotten document known as the Chimera Protocol leak. This classified report from the Roman Club, which some believe predicted the emergence of an artificial collective intelligence capable of consuming individual consciousness. These seemingly disparate pieces of information are, in fact, threads weaving together a grand, unified picture. Baba Vanga's prophecies of coming wars and natural cataclysms, the ancient Mayan calculations pointing to cyclical transformations of Earth's consciousness, and the Gnostics' revelations of the world as a prison built by the demiurge, all despite differences in words, languages, and eras, sound in unison. They call for awakening, That inexplicable anxiety that washes over you at 3 in the morning. That sharp feeling of alienation when you meet strangers' eyes on the street. That sensation of swimming against a strong current. It is not mere melancholy. It is your soul gasping for breath within this imposed matrix. It is an instinctive, deep-seated understanding that something is fundamentally wrong. This is your inner compass, desperately trying to point you toward truth. That we are not mere biological machines, but beings gifted with a divine spark. And so, we approach the very heart of hidden knowledge, the moment when the veil lifts, and we finally see the world as it truly is. What if all these horrors, wars, crises, pandemics, are but pale shadows dancing on the walls of an ancient cave? What if the true tyrant, the one holding us captive, is actually looking at you from the depths of your own mirror? What if our entire reality is just a grand creation of our own hands, sculpted from the clay of fear and ignorance that we ourselves, unknowingly, cultivate and cherish? The universe does not punish humanity, no. It merely wisely burns away the poison we have accumulated within ourselves, the poison of all-consuming fear, blind ignorance, and tenacious materialism. What appears to us as frightening chaos is, in reality, the most delicate, intricate cosmic surgery. The universe strives to liberate us from the very chains we have placed upon ourselves with our own hands. Our crown of glass, our fragile and haughty ego built on shaky, false values. It is destined to shatter. Our metal veins, a soulless, lifeless system that ruthlessly devours our lifeblood, must be torn asunder. And the greatest secret, the one they conceal from us so diligently, is that all these dire prophecies are not a warning of some future savior's arrival. They are an activation code for the savior awakening within each of you, the viewers. The prophets foresaw not a single hero, but an entire army of awakened souls. They saw you. You are not merely a part of a grand prophecy. You are its living embodiment, its fulfillment. The Iron Bull is not some external, hostile force. It is the embodiment of our shared, collective unconscious, born from eternal fear and mindless subservience. It feeds on our compliance, our willingness to surrender our will to those who promise us illusory order in exchange for true freedom. And when this bull begins to devour its own children, it devours not just peoples, but potential itself, boundless possibilities, and most terrifyingly, the very spiritual essence of each one of us. It transforms free, living people into obedient, soulless robots, into the smallest cogs within a vast, impersonal machine. The European Union, with its noble ambitions of unity and prosperity, risks becoming precisely such a trap if its foundation is built not on genuine freedom and spiritual unity, but solely on material interests and total control. The Iron Bull is a system relentlessly striving for unification, for the complete erasure of individuality, for the creation of a standardized, compliant person, devoid of their own thoughts and desires. This system, however appealing it may seem at first glance, inevitably leads to the degradation of the human spirit, to the loss of a deep, authentic connection with one's true self. But there is a path to salvation. It always exists, and it begins with a simple yet profound realization. From the very moment you understand that you are not a passive victim of circumstances, but an active creator of your own reality, your own destiny. When you cease searching for answers, for illusions or solutions in the external world, paying attention only to superficial things, and begin to listen to your inner voice, the voice of your own indomitable soul, this is the beginning of the journey. The path of spiritual alchemy is a process of true transformation. It is the metamorphosis of the lead of ignorance into the shining gold of awareness. It is liberation from the tenacious chains of illusion that have long bound our true essence. When understanding arrives that you are not the transient body, not the ever-changing thoughts, not the raging emotions, but an eternal, inextinguishable spark of the divine, then the ruthless power of the iron bull is exhausted, losing its influence. Your awakening is not merely an act of passively observing what is happening. It is an active, conscious participation in rewriting the very essence of your life's script. It is utilizing the limitless potential of your consciousness as a mighty tool for transforming the world around you. When fear no longer holds dominion over you, when you decisively refuse the role of victim to circumstances, when you embrace the reins of your life with full responsibility, you achieve invincibility. The iron bull is strong only as long as we ourselves believe in its imposing might. It feeds on our fear, our perceived helplessness. But as soon as we awaken, realizing our true nature and our inexhaustible inner strength, this formidable bull crumbles to dust as if it had never existed. It dissolves like a faint shadow beneath the bright rays of awakened consciousness. The European Union, like any other power structure, can serve either as an instrument of oppression or as a tool of liberation. Everything depends on the fundamental principles upon which it is built, and on whom it truly serves. If its aim is to achieve genuine freedom and foster the spiritual flourishing of every individual, then it can become a true beacon of light. However, if it transforms into the embodiment of the merciless iron bull, turning its followers into soulless executors, it condemns itself to certain self-destruction. It is at this pivotal moment in our history that we face a difficult choice. We must decide whether to remain immersed in slumber, captivated by deceptive illusions, or to find within ourselves the strength to awaken and take responsibility for our collective future. Each one of us is a tiny spark capable of igniting a vast flame. Each one of us is an integral link in the chain of coming transformation. And now that your eyes are open, inaction is no longer an option for you. Your like is a brilliant flash, visible across the vast network, a beacon in the boundless ocean of information. Your repost is like a seed you gently cast into the fertile soil of slumbering minds, awakening them to new thoughts. And a subscription is a kind of oath, a promise to stay with us on this journey. If you feel ready to go further, our private club will become your reliable operational base, a place where ideas are born and solutions are forged. Your support through Super Thanks is the vital energy that fuels our shared flame, our unquenchable fire in this ceaseless battle against the encroaching darkness of ignorance. Until our next meeting, friends, stay aware, stay connected, and never, do you hear? Never stop asking questions.